Now, what's happening with Iran? Iran in crisis? So here's the battling. Iran left Tehran too weak to deal with Syria. The problems are just becoming nasty. So the surprising offense by Sunni rebels in Syria reveals a deep crisis in Iran's strategy. Institute for National Security Studies researchers Benny Sabati also said in a recent interview with Marif, arguing that Tehran's effort in combating Israel left Islamic Republic depleted. So that is bad news for Iran. And also the Iranians have paid a very high price for operating all their proxies against Israel over the past year. Things are getting just worse and worse. Finally, Iran finds itself significantly very, very weak. Their command has been eliminated, their soldiers and field commanders, so many of whom are in Hezbollah, Hamas, and other groups. Sabati also noted that as a result of Iran is entering in the campaign in Syria in a very weak state. It has no means to help Assad's regime at all, like literally absolutely dead strength. So this double blow is not only about the inability to provide the assistance, but also about the inflicting harm to themselves. So that is again becoming on a very worse side. They targeted a general and several IRGC members, killed them, and captured the Iran consulate. So on one hand, Iran is unable to assist. On the other, it has become a target for its own self. And also the members of Syrian opposition fighters walk along a street in Aleppo after the Syrian army said that dozens of its soldiers had been killed in a major attack by rebels who swept into the city in Syria on November 38, 2024. Struggling with parallel fronts. So this is a totally different story now. So also according to the Sabati, Iran's problem is compounded by its inability to manage simultaneous fronts. So the Iranians have an issue. They neither like nor believe in fighting on two fronts when they are focused on the Israeli front. That's all they deal with. So they likely had to neglect this front of extremist Sunni. So they have been abandoning it for the past 2 or 3 years in favor of focusing on Israel. As you see, the things are becoming so on downwards for Iran. They are not able to handle this. And also the consequences of this neglect are now becoming evident for itself. Now the genie is just out of the bottle finally for the worst side. So turning to Russia for help now. Iran is turning to Russia for the help. In search of a solution, Iran turned to Russia, and Iran's foreign minister spoke last night with Russia's foreign minister asking for a clean help. However, even the Iranian foreign minister visit to Damascus seems futile. So again, it's a very clear sign Iran is becoming weaker. So also domestic criticism and regional implication. The situation is escalating during internal criticism in Iran, as the public is very angry about the aid provided to regional countries and all the terrorist organization. Meanwhile, the regional implication largely depend on Russia's response towards Iran and in Syria. But let's see what happens, honestly. So let's say that if the Russians intervene and suppress the rebellions, it's a very different story. If they don't, we will witness a significant weakening of both Iran and the Syrian regime. But as we know, Russia is honestly spreading its hand out honestly to help Iran, and that will make Iran again stronger than before. So Russia is one of the major player in this fight, and will going to be the major player because the United States is involved here with Israel. And of course, when it comes to the Iran or Syria and all, some big player has to involve if they are really fighting with Israel and United States. So, and that can only be Russia. So that's the reason Russia is just coming in all fronts. And also Russia is having other problems in Ukraine that really not able to take that. But take a look at one point, that Russia is attacking Ukraine and it's becoming weaker. That's what the news says, but we never know, because, and also they increased 25% of their annual budget on defense. So that's 1/3 of that, of their really economy. So that is becoming a different story for Russia. Now Russia putting their hand in Syria for rebels, and that again, I don't know how much and how far they can really support this Iran problem, but I think so. If they support Iran, would be much happier, and they can keep on fighting with Israel. The whole problem here is we're not looking for who is winning and who is losing. The whole problem here is literally how many partners you have when fighting against the strong oppositions. And that's becoming very clear when EU is fighting with Ukraine against Russia. Of course, United States coming between to help EU and Ukraine. But Russia alone now is helping Iranians and Syrians, because the United States and Israel are in between. So the things are becoming nastier and nastier. Of course, in the end, only innocent people die. That's what the nasty end is, to be honest. Let me know in the comments below, and what do you think, and where this fight is heading, where this war is heading. And thank you for watching, and subscribe to the channel and help me to get to 1,000 subscribers. So just let's do it. Thank you. Probably see you in the next video.